Hey now, we are at Tony Lazzeri. He was the second baseman of the Murderers Row for the Yankees. Died in 1943, very young. He died, maybe he died in 1946 when he was 43 years old. He died in 1946, correct, at 42 years old. So very, very young. So his statistics don't scream Hall of Famer. I mean, looking at it now, 1,800 hits, 178 home runs, less than a 292 batting average. They said he was an outstanding second baseman at the time, but I didn't see him play. There's no gold gloves, and not that gold gloves matter. So it was he never topped out at more than 33% for the Hall of Fame ballot. His most notable comparable is Bobby Doerr, who a lot of people argue probably would not be in the Hall of Fame if not for Ted Williams pushing him so hard. And the same may be true for Tony Lazzeri. I mean, he doesn't scream Hall of Famer by any chance looking at the stats. And if he didn't play for the Yankees during 1927, he probably would not be a Hall of Famer. But regardless, he's in, need to get his autograph. So we need to take a look at the autograph analysis of Tony Lazzeri. So I'm going to share my screen, pull up the PSA database. So let's see if the gallery comes up here. Okay, here we go. So this is what I look for in a Lazzeri autograph. And it's kind of tough here because this one's at an angle. But obviously, I'm looking for a big, swooping two-stroke tee. Yes, this tee can touch here, but it's very rare. And the other thing I'm looking for is the loop here to be almost completely to the left of this part right here. We want to break right here. This O usually is pretty slim. It's almost like an I. A nice Y right here. Then again, a nice big flowing L right here that comes down. Usually it doesn't intersect the A. And then the Z's are, it's tough to see right here. And usually, again, the R and the I that flows up right here. So it's almost like an E, then a W with the dot right here. And as he got older, the the R and the I looked more like a W, like you can see right here, it became less pronounced. For me, this one's tough to see right here, but again, this is a beautiful flowing signature. Again, he died very young, and they think of a heart attack, of a fall, so there should be no hesitation in his autograph whatsoever. It's tough for me to see this one right now, so let's move here. Again, this is a beautiful signed baseball. I think it's good, just based, again, we talked about right here. Again, you see how this two-stroke T, and this is completely to the left of this line right here. The Tony's right here, nice. Again, the L has a beautiful slant. It looks like it's falling down. The Z should be pointing to the left, not down to the left. We get the E and then the R, and it's kind of like a W right here. Again, I think the ball is good. Oh, I know Bill would love for this one right here. Again, when he was much younger, you're not going to see this autograph very on, except for checks, and we'll talk about that. He started originally Anthony Lazzeri right here, and a very well-pronounced E-R-I. But by the time he got picked up and signed a lot of autographs for the Yankees, and thank goodness he played for the Yankees, because if he got in the Hall of Fame with the same stats on another team, his autograph would probably be double, if not triple the price. Again, beautiful. Okay, this right here is an endorsed check. My guess this is a payroll check right here. Again, he says Anthony Lazzeri. Again, you can see the Z's right here. No hesitation. The E and then the W right here after that. And we're going to talk about the E and the W in a minute right here. Again, you see right here we talked about, I see how this T is completely to the left of this right here. The Tony comes down. The O is very slim. The L is falling down. The Z's, the bottom here, are flowing to the left. The E and then almost like the W. I would say 90% of the time he dotted his I's. Not 100, but like 90%. Again, this is a signed contract. I'm not going to spend one time. Okay, here's a check. And these checks have gotten very expensive, but they're out there. They're not impossible. Again, they're signed beautifully. They're all signed Anthony M. Lazzeri. And again, you get almost like a capital E right here, an R and an I. They're very, like, he took his time more on signing a check than he did on signing autographs at the ballpark. But again, you can see the T right here, even though it's very different, obviously, than this T, it's still to the left right here. Again, I've seen this T open. I've seen this loop close, but it's usually 99% a two-stroke T. Okay, remember I said I've seen it close right here? Here it is, like I said, where it's closed a little bit right here. Again, completely to the left of this right here, two-stroke. Beautiful L falling down. The Z's are going to the left, the E right here, and almost like a W right here with a dotted I. I mean, hopefully, again, very similar. You see how this open T is to the left of this right here. Beautiful. The L is falling down, no hesitation. The Z's go to the left, the E, and then the W. So hopefully by now, we won't get into this. This is a whole separate team signed photo, which, I mean, again, you're buying a team signed photo. I mean, it's a whole separate issue altogether. This is from the Uncle Jimmy collection. It is a beautiful signed card. Even then, you see this here to the left, the L right here, the Z's to the left, the E, the W with the dotted I. So we've gone through here. There's a couple things I want to go through right now. I mean, we can share mine real quickly right here. This is my signed check. These checks have gotten very expensive. They were like 10 years ago, they were $500 to $700. I paid $800 for mine, I think, and that's because there is a cancellation, unfortunately, through the A. It bothers me a little. So, but again, it is what it is. So what I wanted to do is show a couple ones that are, my opinion, are not good. And Ron tends to agree with me. Let's start with this one right here. Let's zoom in on this. Again, this is an old PSA one, but again, let's look how shaky this is right here. So yes, it's an endorsed check. Usually it's Anthony, but you see how it's shaky right here, how shaky it is. Like the E is like, it's all over the place. It's not fluid. It's lower right here. He signed all over the place. You looking at this, you think infirmary of hand exists when it never did exist. I don't know if I can zoom in even more. I really want you to see how shaky this is. So I'm pretty sure when Ron, and again, I agree with Ron in his book, he talks about ones that he doesn't think is good. It's very shaky. It's right here. You see, it's like flat. It's not round. This is round up here. It just screams bad all the way around. So this again, these are very uncommon. This is probably one of the few to exist. So I would stay away from this one. There's a couple other ones I want to talk about. This one, again, so if you look at eBay now, they're very expensive. They're very expensive. I think this is good. You see, if we zoom in, how this is to the left of this T, the Z, the L is like it's falling down. Not as much as other ones, but I still think it's good. The Z is going to the left at the bottom here. You get the E and then the W with the I. There's one I want to talk about on eBay. That's this one right here. This one sold recently. Of course, it has a JSA here. I am not a fan of this autograph at all. Number one, I've never seen this loop right here be on top of this T. It's always to the left, or like right on top of, not to the right. I don't like how the Y doesn't go around. The L is not falling like I would think it would fall. This Z right here, you see this Z right here, this second one right here? See how it doesn't go to the left like this one? Very uncommon. And usually it's an E, then a W, not just a W. So if I were buying a Tony Lazzeri autograph, you couldn't give me this one to sell. JSA or not, I am not a fan of this autograph at all. So that is about 8 minutes on Tony Lazzeri. Hopefully you learned something. Again, his prices are getting more and more expensive, and I'm not surprised. 27 Yankee, died fairly young. And like I said, if he wasn't a Yankee, you wouldn't probably be getting him. A lot of stuff out there are the cut autographs. So just be careful when you buy a cut. You got to make sure you're really comfortable with it. So we're going to move from him to a much more common name, and that is Bob Lemon. But until then, as always, keep collecting.